believe we are live. All right, yeah. We're live. Just wait for a couple more seconds here to see if anyone else joins. If not, I'm gonna start talking and catch up with you all. Just gonna change my background. There we go. Not background. Push the screen back so I'm not looking at myself because I already have myself over here, and then looking at myself over there. I tend to stare at the screen, but yeah. All right, well, I'll get started here. Hey, welcome back, everyone. My name is Kwame. I like to take pictures. This is a channel all about photography and getting out with our gear, aimed at hobbyist, I guess. I'm a hobbyist, and so I just want all of you all to get out and take pictures and enjoy the process. So today I figured once again we're gonna catch up. This is a weekly live show that I'll be doing going forward. I did it last week. I'm doing it again this week. I will do it next week. I did forget to put out the notice ahead of time until this morning, so I'm pretty sure there will probably not be that many people who join, if anyone, but I do have a ton of things I want to talk about this week, from finding inspiration or like reinvigorating inspiration, some news going on in the photography world, and just some updates, I guess, on my side. So, number one, I guess, to get started, if you haven't been following me on Glass, I've been posting every day. I haven't posted today. I will post today after this live video. But yeah, it's been really fun, like getting myself to post a picture every day somewhere. It's been really interesting, and I've seen a lot of, I don't want to say changes, but I'm excited to post a picture. I'm excited to look at my archive and like find pictures to post, but I'm also excited to like go out and create new pictures and to share with people. I have a one today that I'll post that I took yesterday, and so that's really fun, and it's been a great way for me to like get excited about photography again. Not that I was ever not excited about it, but when you it feels like I was in a rut, kind of like taking pictures, shooting pictures, but like not sharing them. And so it's kind of like this, it wasn't completed. And so now sharing pictures again has been fun. And what I love about Glass, I'm going to talk about another new app, which I haven't tried, but just got released, is that there's no algorithms. I'm not like trying to gain followers on this platform. It's really just a place to share pictures, and look at other really great pictures and see how people are using their cameras or phones and just seeing their vision of the world. There's two pictures I saw this week from like the same location by two different people, and it just happened to be around the same time. Like they don't know each other. They were just in San Francisco. I don't think it had anything to do with the Apple event. They were just there and they were taking pictures. Actually, one was from a few years ago, and one was recent, and so it was really cool to see that. And being on Glass again has made it has been really good. Like it's a great place to be again. No one's trying to like. There's no influencers, which is really nice, and there's no loud, annoying ads and things like that. And this is not a paid sponsorship. This is just my feeling on as someone who, other than work, kind of has written off social media because it, it's annoying. I don't like being advertised to 24/7. I don't like being monetized 24/7. So it was nice. It's nice to have a place to just go post my pictures, share pictures, and it does feel good to get feedback on your pictures, right? It does feel good when people like the picture that you see. And for those of you who don't know, like I've been doing this 30-day challenge for myself, just posting a picture every day. And the goal isn't to like gain anything out of this other than to complete the 30-day challenge. Like, to do the challenge is the goal for me. And I'm about a week into it, and it feels really good. Like, it feels nice to do, and I really do, like it. Um, Speaking of apps, I saw that there is a new app that was released called Frames. It's by the um, people behind Frames magazines. Now, this is a magazine that I've been wanting to get. I just keep forgetting to subscribe to it, pick it up. It comes out quarterly, so it's really cool, and it's like a 112-page print magazine of like fine art photography. And so they created their own app to do the same thing, kind of like what Glass is doing, right? To have a place that's not ad driven, a place where they can photographers can get together, share our pictures. But I think for them is also a way for them to find new photographers to put into their app, into their magazine. I haven't checked it out yet. I was going to check it out. I will have a link in the description of this video or on my website, if wherever you're watching this at. So where you can check it out yourself. I have found the review over at Petapixels, and to be honest, it looks like Glass. You have your different categories. You can sign up for, you can say, here's the categories that I like, whatever. But it seems pretty cool, and I'm really liking these apps that are. I mean, Flickr is the OG app, right? Whereas these apps where you can go to, and you're not being, there's no incentive to like monetize your audience. There's no audience. Like, you're just sharing pictures for the love of sharing pictures. And so I'm glad to see this. I'm glad another app has come along, because hopefully that will push Glass to innovate. But I don't want them to go crazy. Like, I don't want them to have like a live videos or anything like that. Like, just make the app better. Make it. I wish it was better on Android. Like, it's actually pretty good on Android. I think it's just the a web wrapper. I guess, I don't know, but it'd be nice if it had the same parity as the iOS app. Really, what I would like is on Android to be able to go from Lightroom and publish straight to Glass like I can on iOS. That's a whole nother story about iOS versus Android from that perspective. But yeah, it's it seems pretty cool. I'm going to check it out probably after I finish my 30-day challenge with Glass, because I just want to focus on one platform just to publish to. And then it would be nice if I could also share that on my website. I don't know if Glass has an API or like some kind of way I could pull my feed onto my website, but I'll check it out and see what I can do. Other than that, I could just post the same picture to my website. And if you haven't checked out my website, you should check out kwame.me. I need to get better at posting pictures of like like a photography trip and other things I'm working on. There's a website. I wish I could remember their name. I will leave their link. If I can find it, I will leave their link in the description of this video. It was a guy who like posted pictures just randomly, like out for a walk with his family. He like take some pictures, share them, and post them on his website. It was like really cool, and I love following that website. I haven't gone to it for a while, but it was pretty cool, and I like that idea of getting away from especially Instagram, right? Getting away from Instagram, getting away from Twitter or X, getting away from Facebook, and just having a place like Glass or your own website, or this place Frames or Flickr. I keep forgetting to mention Flickr, because Flickr is the OG app in this, and having a place that we can just go and share pictures as photographers. I think when you share your pictures with other photographers, they understand like the feeling that went into taking the picture, right? Sometimes, whereas I can show a picture to my wife. I'm sure a lot of you who have significant others or even family members can attest. You can share your picture. They'll look at your picture and they'll be like, "Oh, it's cool," and you're like, yeah, either it's a really good picture and you're like, ah, it's just cool, or it's a picture that you're like, this is not a good picture. This sucks. Whereas when you share a picture on with other photographers, like they can see like, oh, I like the reflection in this. I like how you found this one little piece of the layer. Like they can see things in the picture that you saw, but they can also see things in the picture that you didn't see. And then you see it that way, and it's like, oh, that picture takes on a whole new meaning. So that's I've been really liking sharing pictures on glass. So if you are, you know, if you would like, you should try glass, try Flickr, But I encourage you to share your pictures somewhere. So share them and let people see what you're up to. Obviously, the big elephant in the room. iPhone, Apple has come out with a new iPhone, the 15 Pro, 15, and the 15. From a photographer's perspective, I guess the 15 is, I think, a really good camera update for just everyday people, because it's taking the 14 Pro sensor and putting it into the regular 15. And I think that's really cool. The 14 Pro has been an awesome phone camera for myself. I absolutely love using it for pictures, especially video. It's amazing for video, but pictures, it's been great. The portrait mode, cinematic mode. The one mode that's been a little disappointing is the macro mode. So I'm interested to seeing what the macro mode is like on the new phones. But I think it's a really cool update. The iPhone Pros got some new updates, bigger sensor in their cameras, and then the 15 Pro Max, the bigger one, got they're not calling it a periscope lens, but they got the telephoto lens, kind of like the S22 Ultra that I have, the S23, S21 after that, where you have a dedicated optical zoom. So theirs is a 5x optical zoom. It's supposed to be the equivalent of having a 120 millimeter lens. And I will say, like, having the 10x zoom on the S22 Ultra has been really, really awesome. Like, I probably use that lens more than the other lenses, just because there's times I just want to get a little bit closer and I can't. And you can just punch in and you're going to get the iPhone. I think the telephoto lens is, the sensor is a little bit smaller, because there's a telephoto lens in the iPhone Pro right now too. It's a 3x lens, but it is optical. And so I think that's a pretty cool lens. They have some other things where you can, it will show you like the focal equivalent of like a 28 millimeter lens, 35 millimeter lens, 50 millimeter lens. Of course, those are, I believe, digital crops. Not really digital crops, but they're using the sensor, like cropping into the sensor and then using computational photography. The one feature that I hope comes to the 14 Pro is with the 48 megapixel lens. They're bending it down, meaning they're not using the full. They're using the full sensor, but they're making the individual pixels, like they're combining the individual pixels to make them like a bigger sensor, I guess. They're gonna have a 24 megapixel image using a full sensor, and I hope that comes down to the 14 Pro, because that would be awesome. Like, I think that is, out of everything they talked about, and I believe will work on the 15 also. That's really cool, because now you can take like low light pictures, and they should be better in theory. Now, last year people got excited about the 48 megapixel sensor on the phone, and it was okay. Like, even myself, I was like, it's okay. you can now take full advantage of the 48 megapixel sensor without having to shoot raw. I put iOS 17 beta on my phone yesterday, and it works pretty well. So I'm excited about that. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. I've left it in that 48 megapixel. I know it's more space and everything, but might as well use it and see how it looks. I will say the news, even on my 14 Pro, the way that they've rendered their pictures, it doesn't look as digital. So before, I remember people saying like, phone cameras, they look digital, like over sharpened. And coming from the 7, iPhone 7 Plus, I didn't see that. I was like, oh no, mine looks fine. But the 14 Pro, yeah, I could see that. The only way to get around that was to shoot in the RAW format. But then, like, your files were ginormous. I mean, some files were bigger than my Sony camera, the A7 II camera. And so now I've been shooting, and I literally just put it on yesterday. I've been playing with it just a little bit. I'm going to go back out later on today. It looks pretty good. Like, it doesn't have the there isn't a lot of digital sharpening. Like, they've toned down that digital sharpening quite a bit, so it looks pretty good. So I'm going to be testing it, but again, phone cameras are really, really, really great. So I'm really really liking this. And speaking of phone cameras, a great segue into that is I saw an article on Petapixel again from photographer David Joseph, who has been taking amazing macro pictures of insects, plants, and everything using his smartphone, and it looks incredible. Now he has been using some different lenses, but they look incredible. And I saw this because Petapixel reached out to him. They did another article on him just this week, where how he talked about moving to a mirrorless camera. But the fact that he could do this with a smartphone just shows how well. It's not, well, I guess it shows it's not about the camera that you're using. It's all about the way you use your camera. So whether you're using a smartphone, mirrorless camera, full frame camera, medium format camera, whatever, use your camera if you know your camera, use your camera, learn your camera, you can get amazing pictures from this. And looking at his pictures, it really got me motivated to get back out there and take some pictures with my A7 II and the 90mm macro lens, especially right now. I went for a walk yesterday, and there's so many like little mushrooms and other fungi that are on like the forest floor at our local parks. I can't wait to back out there and get out there and take some pictures. I'm looking to upgrade my tripod probably, so I can have the center column that comes down, so I can really get in some low shot areas. Because right now I'm trying to like hand hold it, and it's when you don't have enough light, it's a little. You gotta like hold it or just like balance it just right. And so it'd be nice to have like a tripod that I can have the center column that can be reversed, so I could really get some low angle shots. But also I want to try it out on my phones. The one downside about having the S22 Ultra is that there aren't a ton of manufacturers that came out with like cases that you can put lenses on your phone. So like Moment just came out with a bunch of new lenses, which look really awesome. And I will probably pick up the macro lens and maybe like their telephoto lens. Again, yes, I have a telephoto lens on two of my phones, but if I could use the main sensor and get a little bit closer, that would be awesome. And so I will I'll have links down below to all this, if you guys want to check out his pictures, get motivated, and that's one thing I always tell people, like, if you are struggling, trust me, I've been struggling before recently with motivation, get out and look at other people's pictures. And it doesn't just have to be online. I found these two books recently by the photographer Will Landon in my local bookstore. This is another one. These are panoramic books. So these are, let's see if I can hold it up here. These are panoramic books. And they're just stunning pictures, and they're from like Glacier National Park and Mount Rainier, so right in my backyard. And what's really cool, this guy Will Landon is from um, Bellevue, so he's like in the area that I live in. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but it was really awesome to find these books, and they're literally in my a used bookstore in Bellevue. Which then I looked them up. It was like a used bookstore, literally a mile away from his house. Um, so it was really cool to find these pictures, and they're like from, you know, I think the book was published in the 1990s, so it's from the 1990s all the way back to the 1970s, and all like this pictures he took, and they're all panoramic pictures, and it's just beautiful pictures. I think one thing I want to do is start doing like photo book, not reviews, but just showing you all photo books that I'm interested in, and these books have been amazing, and really, as someone who loves taking panoramic pictures, has really got me thinking about shooting panoramics more and playing around with panoramics. You know, in our local parks around the house. When we went to London and Paris, I was taking a lot of panoramics around there, and so it's, you know, if you're ever struggling for motivation or to figure out what to take pictures of or just anything like that, go find a photo book, go online, go look at other people's pictures, because it really does help you get motivated. It has helped me get motivated to take pictures and to get it back out there, and to, like I said, seeing David Joseph's work of macro photography. I've charged batteries. I charged my A7 II batteries. I'm going out later on this afternoon before I pick up my kid for a couple hours and just walk around our local park and see what I could find. And again, I'm not expecting to take amazing pictures. I'm just out to get out with my camera and to take some images and to enjoy what I'm doing. So if you are, like I said, if you're like me and you're, I won't say struggling, but you have a hard time getting motivated to take pictures, sometimes looking at other people's pictures can help. But also going out to a place where you like taking pictures also helps. And then lastly, I saw Adobe is going to hike up their Creative Cloud prices. Now, personally, I only use Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. Lightroom I use heavily, and Photoshop I use every now and again, but I'm on the creative, I have the photographer's plan, so it's like $10 or $20 a month, I can't remember. Then I pay for extra storage because I have a bunch of pictures synced up in Lightroom. Personally, I was very close to getting off of the Adobe train. And if I could find something like Lightroom, if I could find something that could replace Lightroom, I would do it in a heartbeat, because I think their prices have gotten a little bit out of control. Now, granted, I'm not, and this is amid like record revenue for Q3, so they're not struggling for money, and I get their business and they got to do what they got to do, but as consumers, we also need to do what we need to do. And so I really wish there was a competitor to Lightroom that could do what Adobe does, syncing between like my computer, my iPad, the Android tablet, my phones, and like having that all of that work together has been game changing. And so that's the hard part. But I don't use InDesign, I don't use Premiere, I don't use any of that stuff. And barely use Photoshop these days. I mean, I could probably do everything I need to do in Photoshop in like Pixelmator or Acorn or some other non-Adobe program. Affinity Photo. That's the other one I was thinking of. But Lightroom is the one that I can't get rid of. I've been in Lightroom since day one, and I've tried. I've wanted to try Capture One. The hard part with Capture One is, or any other new photo editing software or photo software, is like the learning curve is steep. And I say that just because I know Lightroom well. Like, I know how to use it. I know what I need to do. Go in there, and I do still take some training videos, get some training videos, I should say, just so I could see what's new and like what I could maybe like streamline things on. But I want to make a new folder. Boom, I got this, I got that. Like, it just works. Everything works, and it's hard to move when you have, man, I don't even know how many years of history in that program and just muscle memory. But the price hikes, again, they're not dramatic, like a couple dollars here and there, but a couple dollars here and there over time does add up. So if you are on the Adobe train and you've been thinking about getting off, maybe this is time. If you don't need everything, again, I only use Lightroom and Photoshop a little bit. Maybe you could scale back and just do the photographer plan. I will say the photographer plan is really nice. Like, Photoshop and Lightroom, I thought it was $10 a month. It might be $20. I can't remember, but it might be $10, and I pay $20 because I have an extra terabyte of storage. But I feel like that's worth it. Like, I get true value out of that. But the rest of it, unless you're using the whole Creative Suite for work or even personal use, for me, it's just not worth buying all that. Like I said, I will have links down below to everything I talked about, my glass profile, this new Frames app that I think looks very promising. I want to play with it, but it does look promising. The article about the photographer who used his smartphone to take amazing macro pictures, and I'll leave his Instagram account also, and all the links to my website and things like that. Again, this is going to be a weekly live show, so if you do have questions, come in early, come hang out, ask your questions. I will also leave links to these two books because you can find them used on Amazon. The Glacier Panoramic. This one is the newest one to me. I haven't gone through it all the way, but the Mount Rainier book, this one is one of my favorites. Really, because I've been there, and so seeing some of the places I've been to from like 1976 is really cool to see. It's like, oh, I was there. He was there before I was born. Awesome. So yeah, it's really, really cool to see. Thank you for anyone who's been watching this. If you do have a question or anything before I head out, drop it in the chat. But I really do appreciate everyone who's been hanging out. If you catch this afterwards, I really do appreciate you watching this after. Like I said before, this will be a live video every Friday. We'll just hang out, chill, talk, photography. Maybe, I do have something planned for October. So if you are, if you're interested, I will have something to announce probably next week for October. So that will be exciting for all of us. But yeah, I really do appreciate everyone hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.